Insulation is a really big deal to me because I'll be living in a zone 6 or 7 climate. It turns out there's a lot of science that goes into insulation. I'm a big physics nerd, so this is right up my alley to get into a lot of detail about. In this video, I'll talk about the insulation in the wall assembly. There is a bunch of insulation in the ceiling as well, but that's complicated enough to warrant it being a separate video. I used 3 different types of insulation in this trailer: a spray foam, urethane, a polyiso, foil-backed, and a polystyrene XPS. Now, I'm favoring a polystyrene insulation despite it having a lower R value, and this is why. Advertised R values are done at a mean temperature of 75 degrees Fahrenheit. The R value changes greatly as temperature is decreased. So the polyiso, despite it having a higher R value, is actually a lower R value in the climate that I'll be in. Now, I'll caveat this data because this is basically advertising material from Corning, so they sell styrene insulation, so keep that in mind. Another caveat is that the temperature ratings of these various insulations are different. The styrene is quite a bit lower. It's rated at a maximum temperature at 165 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty low. I feel like if you were in the sun in a hotter climate, you could reach 165 degrees in your wall pretty easily. Now, where I'm living, it's cold winters and mild summers, so I think I'm okay, but keep that in mind. For most other people, I think a polyiso insulation would probably be better for them. Okay, so now that we've talked about why I chose the construction materials I did, let's gather the supplies and start assembling the wall. So with the furring strips welded on to the studs, the walls are 2 inches thick. The insulation is done in 2 1-inch thick courses of planks. There are a bunch of little gaps and seams that I'm filling in with the spray foam cans, like inside the W studs and around the gussets that I had to cut the foam around for. The spray foam also does a good job of gluing and holding the panels in place. So now that all the spray foam is trimmed back, I'm ready to put the walls up. But before that, I have an episode on the side vent.